Good morning. It is April 11th, and we are still in California. But we're leaving next weekend. We'll drive to Utah. Uh, our holdup has been that our car is being worked on, and it needs a new engine, it turns out. And Kia has agreed to replace the engine under warranty, and that's fine. But engines are on back order, and they're 1 to 2 months out. So I told them, well, we can't really deal with that. So they have agreed to uh, ship the car to us. I said, well, we'll be in Utah for a while, but then if it's not done, we're going to be in Minnesota. They said, no problem. We'll ship it to you. So then we just have a challenge of getting to Utah without a car. So first off, the dealership, well, long story short, we're going to get a car. We're going next week, and we'll be finished. We'll have to isolate again for another 14 days. We've been isolated, sheltering in place for the last 3 weeks. And when we get to Utah, let's see, that'll be so we'll be 4 weeks isolated in California. And then when we get to Utah, we'll have an additional 14 days. But that's okay. They sent home about 40 missionaries from here. There's YouTube videos. You can go and see LDS missionaries returning, and they're coming from all over the world. There could be as many as 30,000 that are sent back home. Many that were sent home from foreign countries will have a 14-day isolation period in their homes, and then they'll go back out in the U.S. somewhere as things clear up. About 40 missionaries, 35 to 40 missionaries from the California Santa Rosa Mission were sent home. That was, let's see, it's about 25%, 26, 28% of the missionaries. And the reason that they went home is because those that are identified that have health concerns don't typically go out of country, so they'll go in country where they know they can get medical. So they might have asthma or high blood pressure or who knows what. But 35 to 40 went home. We haven't really been doing very much for the last 3 weeks, just sheltering in place with the thought that our car would be ready and we would be able to drive it home with us. We almost left a week and a half ago, but at that time we didn't have them agreeing to transport the car, so we would have gone for 14 days isolation in Utah and then come back again and picked up the car. Anyway, it's working out right now. We'll be in Utah for the isolation period. Then maybe mid-May we'll start packing up to go to Minnesota. And that's the update. As far as missionary work, we've done only a little bit. We did clean out a apartment that had been emptied. A couple of sisters had been sent to either other areas. I think one of them went home and one went to another area, and that left an empty apartment in Winters, California. And so we went there last week and emptied the apartment out as far as food. And we took 12 bags of food around to the remaining missionaries. So there's 14 in our zone that were remaining. And so we distributed the food to them, kept a little bit for ourselves, and we did that. Now, this next week, we're going to do apartment inspections. And there's, I think, 7 apartments now. One is vacant. We checked that out a week ago. And the other 7 will inspect them. We may actually do it virtually. In other words, do a messenger video with the missionaries and let them walk us around and show us everything. I'm thinking that's how it's going to go. And then we have masks coming to us to distribute to the missionaries. So we're going to their apartments anyway. but we may do the tour virtually because all the missionaries are shelter in place. They only can go out to walk / exercise, and they don't even want them going to the grocery stores. A week and a half ago, they were given extra money to go out and buy extra groceries to get them through this 2 week period. So they're supposed to stay in their apartments. So what is a missionary that typically goes and knocks on doors or goes to places where people are to engage them? What do they do when they're locked in their apartments? Well, they've been reaching out to chat groups and things like that and interacting with people. And turns out they're I forget, I don't know what it's called, but on Messenger I think you can do video conference kind of thing, sort of like Zoom, only more casual, just between two people. And so they've actually been teaching English classes to Spanish primarily, and they've also been doing interactive lessons with people. They'll teach concepts through Messenger. I'm pretty sure it's Messenger, and they're teaching people in South Africa, in the Philippines, in Georgia, and virtually anywhere in the world. And interesting, in South Africa, there's only the missionaries from there came home, so where they're teaching in South Africa, they can't refer them to a local missionary because Africa's big and there's not that many missionaries there. They're even having trouble finding the church leader there. It's a small group of people in this particular area, so they have what's called a branch president instead of a bishop. Branch president would be when the number of people in a congregation are smaller. A bishop is when there could be as many as 700 in a congregation. So anyway, they've found ways to teach through technology, which is very cool. And they've been able to keep busy. They did have a baptism last night. So things do continue. When they have a baptism, they can only be a couple of people there. Can't have any kind of group. It's typically probably 5 or 6 people, where normally they might have as many, anywhere from 20 to 50, depending on how many people, how many friends a person has. And so we thought we might be able to stay until October, but the thing that's driving us back is our health insurance. We've been gone. In May 6th, we will have been gone a year, and we're using a Utah-based insurance company, and they had a limit of a year. After that, you are considered to be outside the jurisdiction, and they're only Utah-based. So that's like the final straw that said, okay, you got to go home, figure it out, because you're out of here. So that's what we're doing. We'll be home probably the 20th of May, but isolated for 14 days. Can't really have people coming and going. And so that's our update, modest as it is. Love you guys. Have a great day. Take care.